Hello and welcome back to another video. I actually didn't plan this out. Usually what I do is I do have a job planned out the evening before the day. So just say Monday evening I do have the plan and the work and the, all the job lists planned out for Tuesday, and what jobs I'm going to record and all that. It's all planned out. But I came down this morning and fed the cattle. The bale was put in yesterday, so once they have the floor cleaned up, I'll put another one in. But I came down this morning and I started throwing silage here, and then I realised this bar is disconnected from this lug here. Now, what that bar is for, because you can see it all along there and there, was for when the calves were smaller to stop them from jumping out, because we had a couple of them jump out on us. And we obviously had to put them back in. Now obviously you can see that they've grown and they're bigger, so they might be less inclined to jump out, and some of them mightn't even fit out. But for the younger ones, they'll be smaller. You know, the last two or three that were born might be that little bit smaller than the rest of them, and they could possibly still squeeze out. So I'm going to get a spanner and clip that back up. Okay, so that's back on. It wasn't all that easy because there was sort of cow shit everywhere. There was cow shit pole, there was cow shit wrapped around this. So yeah, it wasn't that easy to put on. Plus this was sort of stiff as well, so the spanner, I was finding it hard to twist the spanner as well. And also we did have a designated sort of spanner for this, but we were tightening that gate in there one day, and it fell down into the slats. So whether or not we'll get that designated spanner back, I don't know, because it's literally at the far end, while our sucking pit and lid is just outside that wall there. So unless the agitator or a slurry tanker can bring it up to the front and we can get it, only time will tell. That's when we're going putting out the slurry, we'll find that out. But anyways, this is on. It wasn't all that easy, but I got the better of it. So we can move on to the next task in hand. The next task in hand is, there's a pile of dung here that needs to be thrown into the box on the 135. And that came out of the calf pen there. So when they're having their silage there, as you can see, out of their little silage creep pen, and sometimes it gets scattered. When they're pulling it out through the little gaps, some of it will fall on the ground, as you can kind of see there. And then they're lying on it. They're lying on it and doing their toilet business on it. So every other day, every second day we go in, with a brush and a grape to get any silage or number twos out of the pen, and just keep it clean for them as well, because obviously personal hygiene on a farm with farm animals and calves, it's best practice to keep it clean. We also have a bit of dung here on the slurry pit lid that needs to be cleaned up, and we have a bit of dung here outside the door. That's basically silage that the two cows that I still yet to calve, throw into the barrel of water. It gets wet, they don't eat it, so we throw it there. And there's other stuff there as well, so probably silage that they put their backs up against the barrier and do their number twos on top of the silage as well. That's thrown out there as well. But we'll get 135 out there, and we'll back it out and put that in it, and this dung here in it. Right, so I backed in the 135. There's obviously some stuff in the box. As I mentioned, we have to fill this pile of stuff here, and there's more out there. But before I took out the camera, I just had a little peek in here, and it could probably do with a sweep out. There's some bad stuff and cow poo on the ground, so I'll go and get the brush there. I'll set up the camera, and I'll sweep all that stuff out, add it to this pile, and then throw it into the box. And once we have all the dung in that's on the farmyard, we'll go over and empty it. So I cleaned out the calf creep there, but the camera did fall over. I had it propped up here, but obviously there isn't a whole lot of room between the barrier where the heifers are and the wall. So if I kept it too far over here, when the gate was open, you wouldn't see much. So I had to keep it sort of more here. And I presume one of these, not the heifers, the bulls, I should say. I presume one of the bulls probably knocked it over, because it was probably only 2 to 3 foot away from the drinker here. But they shouldn't have, I don't know. I thought I had it propped up well there, but I don't think they could have reached it. It was a bit out. I don't think they would have got their heads out. But anyways, we have that cleaned out. We have that cleaned out and piled here. I'll give you a closer look at it. You can see I've sort of sweeped it out and took all the silage out. So I started from back there with the brush and sweeped any sort of number twos that they made up to here. Then there was silage, so I got the grape and graped the silage and threw it out to here, and then went back with the brush and started sweeping the lighter bits till I got that out here. I cleaned up all the silage that was underneath the silage trough there, and any silage that was in there as well, I graped it out, and I pushed it all then with the brush onto that pile, and then got the grape and threw it on top. So it's time to hailstones. It's time to throw this into the box. Hopefully the camera doesn't fall. that's the box fairly full. We have to go over and empty that. So we have all the dung that was to be put into the box, ready to go and get emptied. And for those who might be wondering, well, why don't you power wash the pen out? We probably will on the weekend when we have more help. Currently, it's only me on the farm, and what we do is we actually have a couple of power washers. We have one for the tractor, we have a petrol one, and we have an electric one that plugs into the mains. But usually we'd only use the tractor one or the petrol one if we were doing the whole shed. So it probably would be the tractor one, possibly the petrol one. When all of these are gone out of the shed and the slurry is agitated and gone and emptied, we'll probably come in here, give it a big clean up, scrape the slats, and then give the whole shed a power wash down. But here now, those are actually quite heavy, those sort of mats and slats type things, pallet slats. They're actually very, very heavy. You wouldn't believe it, but they are. And it usually takes 2 people to lift them up and move them. So what we'll do is come in here with probably the electric power washer that plugs into the mains and give the whole thing a power wash down. We lift up the slats and flip them and lean them up against the barriers there and scrape out whatever is underneath them and throw it into the box, and then give that whole thing a power wash then, and then put them back down where they are now and then give them a power wash as well. That's usually a 2 to 3 man job, so currently it's only me here working on the farm, so I've a couple of bits and bobs to keep me going. But probably over the weekend we'll get that power washed, and they'll have a cleaner little calf creep to lie down and rest themselves in. But anyways, the sun is shining, the sun is out, so I think it should be dry enough to go over with that. Hopefully it doesn't rain when I'm halfway on the road and get soaked, but it needs to be emptied. It's staying dry. Fingers crossed, touch wood, that it stays dry until I come back with the box emptied. Well, that's all the jobs done there, and it's going to be the end of today's video, so thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please do give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification then when you do subscribe, so you never miss out on any uploads. And yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Take care.